Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush video. So we had to wait until episode 2, but the first opening finally came out with the release of episode 2, and so in today's video, I am going to be doing an in-depth analysis, a full breakdown of opening 1 and ending 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. Now, in the past, I would split these two videos into two separate videos, but because I feel like there's not really a crazy amount of stuff that the opening really foreshadows, I felt I could go through the opening and then go through the ending and just put it all in one video for the convenience of you guys. So, without further ado, let's begin. We get a shot immediately of the two dual discs rotating. Now, this is pretty symbolic in my opinion, because the dual disc rotating on the left is the dual disc that we associate Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s with. It's also the dual disc that Udius is using, and Yuhi comments on this disc in the first episode and says he's never seen a dual disc like that, whereas the dual disc on the right, the blue dual disc, is the one that is more familiarly used by Yuhi and by the characters that inhabit the Go Rush series. So I feel that as kind of just a cool parallel there between 7s and Go Rush. And another really interesting thing about this scene, I knew this background looked familiar, and so I rewatched opening 1 and opening 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. Haravute, opening 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, when Yuga is about to summon monsters, if you will. I think it's right after they show the Goa siblings. Right before the chorus kicks in, the background shots look very similar. So is this supposed to symbolize hyperspace? Is this symbolizing a deeper connection here, once again, between Yuga as the founder and the creator of Rush Duels, showing the two different types of dual discs to symbolize how far Rush Duels have come in this universe? I'm not quite sure, but with all the assets that Studio Bridge could have chosen, it seems like this one was very intentionally used, and it seems like it is a very similar background to the one that we see Yuga in front of in opening 2 of 7. So very interesting there. Then we get some shots of Yuhi. We get a face shot of him, and then it pans out to him looking over a moonlit sky. I think this is just probably representative of the mysteries that are out there in the world. You know, what is my purpose? If he has a deeper connection to Yuga, and we assume he does based on those last names, then of course, wondering maybe what his family life is like and what his father is like if he never met his dad will be something that this opening could be foreshadowing. Then we get a great shot of Udius of Velgear and Zuaijo, and this is going to be a dynamic that for me can, I don't want to say make or break the show because that's way too dramatic, but I am really putting my eggs in this basket. I really believe that this rivalry, dynamic, whatever it's going to end up being between Udius and his leading commander, who he believes killed himself in order to save Udius on the battlefield, is going to be so incredible. We know from pre-Go Rush summaries that Zuaijo has also made his way to Earth in search for Rush Duels, so why is he here? Is it for more nefarious reasons? I think it is. We'll get to that in a little bit, but coolest shot of the opening in my opinion. A great pan shot there of Udius and Zuaijo. And then we get a similar shot that we got for Yuhi. We get his twin sister, Yuamu. Interestingly enough, it's not the same bridge. When I first watched the opening, I figured it was, but that's kind of a cool thing there. This doesn't even look like a bridge because there's no proper ending. Maybe this is like a drawbridge that boats would go under if there's like a little bit of a river between the two sides of houses. But very similar shot there with Yuamu and Yuhi, both kind of pondering maybe a deeper meaning here when it comes to Rush Duels. Then we get a really cool shot of an unknown character, well, two unknown characters. An unknown character to the left who reminded a lot of people, including me, of Mimi. It looks like she has a cherry logo on her hat. And a deeper connection here, if you see Mimi in this character, you might notice the dog. That is 1000% Yoshio's dog, the dog that followed him around in the Mad Max Club. So either this dog has an infinite lifespan, which is probably not the case, or it's just a type of dog that has been passed down by generations, like bred maybe, or maybe they just like this particular breed of dog. But I think that dog alone really ties in these two characters to Yoshio. Do I think this is Mimi? Absolutely not, but I already get the motherly vibes that we got from Mimi with her son Yoshio, so that is something to definitely keep an eye on there. But I think the Itachi family is going to be heavily tied in with these two characters. Then we get a shot of Manabu and Neanderstar, his cat, curled around his neck. The characters in the background here are MIK Agents, which is the group that he leads. It's a play on Men in Black. They look like they could definitely be part of Men in Black, so those are the characters that we see in the background there. Then we get a shot of Yuhi waking up, Yuumu looking out on her balcony, pretty much the shot that we got in episode 1 to start off this series, with Udius's spaceship coming to Earth. We get a really cool shot of the Velgear star cluster before getting some shots that we've already seen prior to Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush airing, which is just Yuhi and Yuumu and Udius summoning monsters. We get a cool shot of Galactica Oblivion. Then we get a great shot of Transamu Rainik. We got this shot in the opening trailer when it was first released, but a portion of this shot is actually brand new and it's very easy to miss. And it looks like Transamu Rainik above a bunch of coral-like trees with a beautiful solar eclipse going on in the background. At least that's what it looks like. I'm not sure if this shot has any further significance there, or if it just is supposed to make Transamu Rainik look like a complete badass. And if the latter is the goal for this scene, it definitely does a wonderful job. We then see Yuhi with his monsters, his ace dragon, and his two signature monsters. And then we see Yuumu, and this is the first look we've really had at Yuumu's cards. We see what I would imagine is her ace in the very backdrop of this shot, which looks like an ice dragon. It looks really, really sick. Love the aesthetic of these three cards. And Yuumu is going to be the first girl character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Since Aki, I believe, to play dragons. I know a few people did comment when I said that in my reaction, and they said, well, Asana played dragons, but technically she played worms. And so even though they're very, very similar, I'm not even sure what the difference is supposed to be. It's not actually dragons. And so I think the last girl character, and correct me if I'm wrong, to play a dragon archetype was Aki. Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D is about 15 years ago. So that is really, really cool. And even if you want to say Asana should count, she's the first main girl lead to be playing dragons since Aki. So that is really awesome. Love the look of Yuumu's cards, and we know she's dueling next week, so we'll see these monsters animated. We get a shot of Transamu Rainik and Udius, showing the symbolism between them. Udius sees himself in Transamu Rainik. A lot of these shots were from the very first episode. Then we get the three looking on at Udius's spaceship traveling to space before getting our final ending pan shot. And in this pan shot, it seems like Udius and Zweijo are going to be rivals and adversaries here, at least in the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush. We have Udius' spaceship along with Udius, Yuhi, and Yuumu. And then on the left side of the screen, we have the Chupacabra alien on the bottom left, who is using the blue dual disc, the typical Go Rush dual disc. We have Kawaii on the right. He's that green alien. No idea yet who the alien in the middle is. Maybe it's their spaceship or their method of transportation, unless it is a fourth member here. And then we have Zweijo towering over not only his whole group, but really the whole scene, looking intimidating with a glowing dual disc. Early prediction, I would bet money on it. He's going to have the same freaking dual disc that Udius has, a red dual disc. And why is that? Well, I believe that Yuga maybe went to Velgears and dropped off one of his dual discs, and that's how they were able to maybe replicate the technology or something along those lines. But there's a reason that they show the Chupacabra and Kawaii dual disc, and they do not show Zweijo's, and I believe that is a huge hint that Zweijo is going to be using that red dual disc that Yuhi and Yuumu were shocked to see Udius using because no one's ever seen it before. That's pretty much all I have to say about opening 1, so let's switch over to ending 1. Ending 1 is a lot more fun. It's more lighthearted. The song is great. It's by Youth Psyche, the same guy who performed opening 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. We see our three main characters, Yuhi, Yuumu, and Udius, walking down streets, probably trying to complete tasks, or maybe it's just symbolic of them endlessly searching for something that continues to be just beyond their reach. And at the end end of a long day, we see how exhausted the three characters are before going to the invisible spaceship that we were introduced to in episode 1. That spaceship flies off to the moon, and I think it's very fitting that it kind of gives them new life. It gives them a breath of fresh air. It gives them extra means to solve the mysteries that they have been so mundanely trying to solve in their daily, boring life for so long until their paths have finally crossed. And then we get some really, really pretty shots. We have a picnic shot of Yuumu, Yuhi, and Udius. And there's two characters here that are interesting. I want to point you out to the boy-like character behind the tree. That is going to be most likely the human form for the Chupacabra alien, since that is the character dueling Yuumu in episode 3. And we know that the Chupacabra alien is debuting in episode 3. So that is probably the Chupacabra boy's disguise, or the Chupacabra alien's disguise, which is very interesting. Then we have a character all the way on the right, and I want you to kind of keep an eye out for her, because then we get a beach shot, and we see that character again. She's wearing a hat that you'd see an elderly woman wear at the horse racing track. We have everyone cheering on Udius about to smash a watermelon, including his spaceship and his 8.8 million countrymen. Then we get a shot of Yuhi, Yuumu, and Udius, who have raked leaves in a really cool fashion. I think that's supposed to be Udius, but maybe it's supposed to be Zawaijo. I'm not 100% sure. But the most important thing from this scene is, for the third straight shot, we have that same mystery girl, this time sitting on a bench, reading a book. But she is there. Then we get a fourth shot of a character that looks a lot like Django, but I would imagine that it's, or Bakuro, excuse me, from Sevens, but way too young to be Bakuro. I would imagine this is going to be an alien. Maybe this will be Kawhi Tell's disguise. It very well could be his disguise. We see the Chupacabra alien's disguise in this shot, but that is a new character there. We have our main characters dressed up as Snowman, and then we have the mystery girl once again under the umbrella, and she's going to make one final appearance here in the ending shot. But before we get to that, we have a pan-up shot of the tower. We have Sushiko sweeping outside. We have Galliant waving, and then our main cast walk inside. We see a picture frame, and much like the final ending of Arc 5 with the picture frame of the U-Boys and the Bracelet Girls, we have a nice shot. Starting all the way to the left, there's that mystery girl again. What do I think about her? I think she could be maybe a Nanahoshi descendant. I don't really get a mysterious vibe from her, but obviously the Nanahoshis were a clan of discreetness. They were a clan of darkness. They were very cunning. They were always manipulating things from the background. I think she maybe is a little too present and not as menacing looking to be a Nanahoshi, but that's an early prediction of mine. I think she's going to be a character that probably wants to befriend this group, not necessarily for evil intentions. From the shots we get, I don't get evil vibes from her, but it's hard to tell. I wouldn't have gotten evil vibes from the boy hiding out behind the tree, and that's obviously going to be the Chupacabra alien, so clearly you just don't know enough from these shots. We have Neondastar the cat, I guess, hitting the camera. I would imagine Galliant set it on an auto timer, and he's running to try to make it back. That's why you have Yuhi posing, you have Yuumu laughing or being shocked that Galliant is tripping. You have Manabu yelling at his cat not to mess up the camera or take the picture too early. So I imagine that's what's happening in the shot. Very comedic. Going from left to right, you have Yagi, Old Man Yagi, I should add, Yuumu, Udius, Yuhi. I really want to say that that's Omaino Ushido. And the girl on the right, I was completely wrong about. I thought this girl on the right, she was also at the end of episode 1, was Sushiko, but it's definitely not. There are multiple elderly women at this facility at UTS. One is Sushiko. This one looks very similar, as a lot of people pointed out, to the disguise that Princess G wore when Yuga dueled Roman in episode 40. I don't think this is Princess G, but I have no idea who this could be. So any thoughts on that, please let me know down below. But guys, that concludes my opening one and ending one in-depth analysis and breakdown. Please let me know anything you think I may have missed, any details I may have missed. Let me know some things you didn't notice that I pointed out, and let me know your thoughts on opening one and ending one. Do you like them? Do you wish they were a little more foreshadowy, or do you think they give away a perfect amount of what's to come? Thank you guys all so much for watching. Excited to hear your thoughts down below. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Panther J, Blue Maiden 28, and Jarrett Buller, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood and Latrell Smith, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons, Ccapacappuuu and Syn Cloud. To everyone who supports me on Patreon, and to everyone who is a YouTube channel member, thank you so much. The extra support means the world to me, and it allows me to make videos on a semi-daily basis, and I am forever indebted to you guys. Seriously, thank you so much. And definitely check out my channel membership feature and my Patreon for some extra channel perks. And thank you guys all so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Be sure to check out my channel for some more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime content, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.